This is a recording of my interview with Sanjay Alvis, VP of Business Development at Gamelan. We discuss Gamelan's unique approach to conversational AI, unsupervised learning that is editable and auditable by humans. Sanjay shares practical applications and success stories, and his views on which technology will best facilitate human-to-machine conversations. I'm talking to Sanjay Alvis, VP of Business Development at Gamelan. Gamelan developed a new approach to deep learning, bringing together human and machine learning for better performance. Gamelan has received a lot of interest and recognition in the past and is backed by an impressive list of AI researchers, VCs, and technologists. Sanjay, welcome. Please introduce yourself and Gamelan.
Thanks, Chip, and thanks for the invitation. So, as you mentioned, I'm VP of Business Development at Gamelan. Gamelan is a machine learning company located in Boston, Massachusetts. We have deep roots to MIT, and our founder, Ben Vigoda, got his PhD from MIT, and many members of our research team have connections to the Cambridge kind of university research world. Gamelan specifically focuses on natural language.
Sanjay, to start a bit broader, what do you think is the future of AI development and applications as far as the human-machine interaction is concerned? What is the role of humans and of the machine respectively?
One way to think about it is to differentiate between something we call narrow AI and strong AI. Strong AI is really kind of the stuff of fiction, and it's general intelligence. These are machines that actually would exceed human intelligence. And it frankly doesn't exist. But where we do see huge amounts of investment, billions and billions of dollars going into startups, and certainly many tens of billions of dollars being spent by big enterprises, is this concept of narrow AI, in which computers can perform, activities that humans once performed. We see, use cases within marketing and sales and decision-making and translation, improving voice assistance on phones, getting deeper insight into customers. You reference the human, and at Gamelan, we feel like the human is actually critical to this. What we have observed in kind of the AI market is that, there's a lot of concern and agita about black box AI systems, where you have some rules programmed, the machine runs, and then humans are surprised at what the output is. All of a sudden there's bad outcomes, there's biases, there's unexpected preferences. So we actually feel that the interaction between a human and machine learning is critical, not only for driving value, but also to opening up the black box, making it transparent. And at Gamelan, we call this abstract supervision, which is quite literally, we have unsupervised learning that automates the process within machine learning, but we actually allow a data scientist or a business analyst or even someone in marketing to go in and have visibility into the model and edit the model and update the model. So you have that transparency.
Now, moving on to Gamelan, what specific problems does Gamelan try to solve?
We help customers with improving digital experience. And so we actually have a product called Idea Flow that you can think of it as a conversational website. So what we've seen in the market is that there's lots of growth within the chatbot market. There tends to be kind of polar opposite extremes taken with approaches to chatbots. Sometimes you see these very, very basic bots on websites, and they don't really have true AI. They force you to choose, are you here to shop, or are you a returning customer, or are you here just to look around? And then from there, based on that answer, a sales agent will come and try to help the person kind of through live chat. And what we hear from clients and seen in the market is there are real scalability issues there. One is the availability of human beings to actually come on quickly and answer that questions. The other issue with scalability is just the human knowledge that each of these agents have, and some of them are better than others. Our product Idea Flow actually ingests kind of in an automated, so there's automated ingestion of all the information on websites and product catalogs so that the conversational agent can actually ask the person, hi, how can we help you today? And the person may ask about a product, and then the Gamelan product can then serve a response back, and you can have a much more natural conversation, provide more information, better screen the prospect before a purchase on the site or before an agent actually would take over. Another way in which we work with clients is helping them improve insight into what customers are saying. So we work with customer experience and VOC teams to get better insight into feedback and reviews and surveys. And the fundamental differentiator there is that we're actually able to understand what people are saying at the phrase level. Enterprise customers are able then to better complement their existing ways of measuring net promoter scores and feedback with true insight into what individuals are saying. And as a result, feed that information back into product and marketing and improve funnel conversion, improve loyalty and advocacy after the purchase, decrease the manual effort with respect to getting insight, and also feed that critical product information back into product and R&D teams.
Sanjay, can you share some success stories and, if possible, what benefits were achieved?
We've been working for a couple of years with one of the biggest car companies in the world. So it's one of the top 3 automotive OEMs. This company was spending huge amounts of dollars on a lot of manual effort to try to understand social media, customer reviews, customer surveys. They were using kind of an unsupervised learning approach. So the output looks like a word cloud. And then also some manual effort to spot check surveys and reviews. And what the marketing kind of CX and voice of customer team found was that the insight and feedback and then follow-up actions that they were taking weren't generating kind of good results. And the problem was that, unsupervised systems work very quickly, but a word cloud doesn't get to the heart of the ideas that customers are trying to communicate with you. And then the problem with manual spot efforts on surveys is that you're only looking at a small amount of the social media or reviews or feedback out there. At Gamelan, we did a very quick paid pilot with them where we took about 10,000 of these reviews and created a machine learning model. And then the machine, kind of through the learning process, was able to actually understand at the phrase level versus the word level. And I'll give you a quick real world example. If someone posts on Facebook and they say something like this, I love the new hybrid car. It gets even better fuel efficiency than promised. My experience at the dealer was also really, really good. And I'd also go back to dealer ABC. I am having a lot of troubles with the in-car experience. My smartphone never syncs, and I can never play Spotify, even though you promised me that I could. So in that blurb of text, there's positive sentiment tied to a make and a model, and then a specific function of the car, right, which is around the system hybrid, and then kind of the functionality of improving better fuel experience. There's also positive sentiment tied to a channel partner, which is the dealer. And then there's this deep negative sentiment tied to in-car experience, which is kind of a subcategory, and then a subcategory specifically tied to smartphone, and then a subcategory tied to a specific product in there, which is Spotify. And so if you did a word cloud, right, you would have Spotify show up at the same way as smartphone, the same way as hybrid. And what does that actually tell you? Our model will separate out the positive sentiment on the fuel efficiency and categorize that under hybrid. and also separate the negative sentiment tied to Spotify not working with the in-car experience and the smartphone. And then these teams are actually able to not only communicate directly with their customers, but also feed it back into product or the channel partners or into marketing and sales. The companies have actually been able to improve customer experience, better correlate net promoter scores with what is actually happening well and not so well within the customer experience and those experiences within products, and then start to communicate in real time about these issues or good experiences that our customers are having. And they were also able to save a lot of time and manual effort. And so we had kind of an over 10x ROI compared to the old solutions that they had cobbled together.
As we are now reaching the end, Sanjay, I have a final question.
Sure.
What do you think is the future of conversational AI in business?
Very, very, very good question. We feel that in the future, more and more people should be able to have more and more natural conversations about more and more topics that they actually that they care about. And this is, at home with, something in their personal life, or interacting with small or large companies, with respect to customer support or purchase or awareness. And I think that what we've seen with respect to ML and AI so far, some of the challenges, is that there's issues around scale. Many, many AI technologies require data labeling to get started. There's always this challenge with markets are constantly expanding, and human beings are constantly being offered more and more things to buy. And the broadening of digital channels as a whole have kind of given license to people all over the world to ask for things or ask for information about more and more topics. But the constraint on that is that the core technologies that power a lot of conversational AI or voice assistants on phones, you're always having to label more and more data. The data changes, the products change. Individuals who are labeling may even, be labeling in different ways. So there's huge amounts of cost and effort and time related to trying to keep up and kind of label. You're also kind of not incorporating everything that individuals really, really want to talk about. What we've seen with some of the technologies out there is that the ability to keep up with all of the topics that people want to actually have conversations about hasn't scaled up and is starting to flatten out. One of the ways to solve this problem is to allow machines to learn without a dependency on data labeling. From a technology perspective, we actually use a probabilistic programming approach. And so fundamentally, it sees patterns of letters and makes a prediction of what the word is, and sees patterns of words and makes a prediction of what the phrase is. And so if you use technology that has a different approach and is scalable, isn't reliable on labeled data, and then also allows subject matter experts to have visibility into the model and help guide it and learn, all of a sudden you're able to answer and have conversations about more and more things, but you also start to make this scalable.
Yeah, no, this was great. Sanjay, thank you very much for the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to meet you. Thanks so much, Chip.